This episode of Speakers of Heidelin is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Arisu Yamakawa, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Aurora Templeton, Psyche, Azuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mictor Robintau, Anathos Moonscar, Pamela Isley, Elenriel Maximus, Coderuth Novelist, Mira Miri, Celesto Nutrell, Lazy Boy, Luke Osborne, Pandaloo Stormarrow, Tex, Kylin, Arthur Law, Barry Danderard, Psypup, Spencer Christmas, Noy Fafnir, Celine DeLune, Edwin, Wibsta Wolf, Severa, Sir Kabarakeel, Kazran, Ventos Tia, Ryark Forbear, Leighton the House, Tony, Arcadia Lunashine, Umbral Wind, Framboise Zakuro, Bergie, Fudge, Sephiel, Cafe, and Nat Clay. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Heidelin.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Heidelin, episode 400.
Get me out the game!
Yeah! Okay, I was so preoccupied fixing the camera that I forgot about this. Hold on, they're gonna pop in. Hey!
Oh.
Hey!
There we go.
Yeah, we're here. Welcome to Speakers of Heidelin, episode 400. It is.
Wow.
May the 4th be with you.
Well, yeah, it's Star Trek Day.
Yes,
So that's nice.
it is Star Trek. Star Trek Day. It is Star Trek Day. Yes, in
You know,
India.
because of May the 4th be with you.
Right,
May the
right.
Force be with you from Star Trek.
Right, from Star Trek. Welcome. Today, of course, is the big 400. It's very satisfying seeing that number. You know, having like a round number, like two.
But then it's like
2 zeros.
It's also very sad, isn't it? Because you know, technically, on average, a podcast is 2 hours plus the 1 hour post show.
Yeah.
Multiplied by 400 really puts it into perspective.
Well, remember that a lot of that is weight screen and technical difficulties.
That's true.
So it's
We've
not.
worked
And,
through our lives.
so much yapping.
Yeah, a lot of yapping.
So,
All this talking and for what? It was a
yeah.
work.
Do they just talk?
Also, like, this has only happened. I was like, 400. Well, we've been doing this for 10 years. It makes sense. We've only had like this 4 times, like 2 zeros in our episode number. You know,
You know what it reminds me? You ever drive your car and you look at the odometer? It's like, oh, it's about to roll over to like a really satisfying number.
Yeah.
Every time that happens in my car, I pull over and take a picture. I was like, 172000. Oh,
Yeah.
169.
Yeah. Yeah, I had that. I remember my car was going into like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't remember. It was like that. And I had been hyping it up for like weeks. I'm like, guys, it's about to fucking happen. The day it happened, I fucking forgot and I missed it.
No!
Worst.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
my day was ruined. So anyways, today we're going to talk about the benchmark update. There's more information on that. And also, kind of surprising, but I would say it's surprising. The EU Data Center edition is just happening.
We're back on, boys.
Yeah. Also, we'll be reading your MogMail, speakersxv.com/MogMail. Before we jump into the show, we have a couple of channel updates that we need to address. This coming week, it's happening for real. Not Eurovision Countdown. It's Eurovision live coverage. That's the semi-final 1 on Tuesday and semi-final 2 on Thursday for Master and Supreme. And then on Saturday, we cover the grand final with Senior Master and Supreme. If you haven't watched it already, the VOD for Eurovision Countdown is available on in the channel called ESC Semis, I think, or something like that. It's pinned, so you'll find it pinned in that channel. So if you're a patron, you can watch it already. Big hype. Not much more to say than that. be there or not. Also, it is episode 400.
What?
Wow.
So you'd think that we're going to celebrate this a lot today because it's the 400th episode, but it is also our 10th anniversary year, and we're going to celebrate it more when we get to our actual anniversary on December 6th. Is that our anniversary? I think it is. Let me just double check.
It'll be the 7th, probably.
It is. Yeah, that will be the 7th. Will be our anniversary.
We're so
episode.
close. That's a shame.
Oh, I hate Windows 11. It doesn't show your stuff in your calendar. So episode 400, 400 episodes. That's a lot of episodes. 400. I'm trying to think. So for us to get to 500, it'll be almost two years until we get to 500. I don't like to think that far ahead. What?
No, it'll be less than 2 years. I don't know why I thought it was more.
We'll be hyping up the next expansion around episode 500, I think, right? Because 2 years, isn't that usually the lifespan of an expansion?
No, they've gotten longer, remember?
Oh, yeah, you're right. So, okay. So we'll be maybe... we're on the tail end of Dawn Trail. At least we're on the last.
We might be at 7.5, 7.55.
Yeah,
Yeah, close to it.
Yeah.
You know what? Fun fact: we have outlasted the Confederacy.
Yeah, we did it.
It's been around longer than the Confederacy existed. So,
guys.
Yeah,
we did it. We did it, folks. Yeah. So we do have a clip compilation that we've played before. I don't know if I should play it now, but what I can do is I can upload it to Speakers Plays instead, and so it'll be available for everyone. You can watch it as much as you like on Speakers Plays. I think I'll do that instead of playing it here because we did start late. My camera didn't work, so we've been sorting that out. But yeah, there you go, episode 400. Anything else to say? Anything you want to say for our 400th anniversary? That you'd.
Thanks, I guess.
Do you remember your first episode number?
Oh, I can find it if I go through the channel. Yeah. But I can't off the top of my head. But it was fairly.
I can remember mine.
It was.
Well, yeah.
Obviously. Oh, really?
Episode 1, baby.
I'm like 260, maybe.
Ooh.
Or no? Did I join earlier?
I think you were. Okay, let's see. Let me think. Mela is definitely episode like pre 100, I think.
Yeah.
You're like 60 maybe? No, less than that. You're like early, I think. Because Lonigan left.
It was a horrible episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, you didn't say much because obviously we just forced you to join the episode.
It was horrible.
To join.
So,
he wasn't ready to be there.
No. You're
like 175 maybe?
175, okay.
260 was our Shadowbringers review.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're definitely there by then.
I'm close because 175 is Starlight review for that year, which is 4 years ago now.
God. Yeah.
Maybe
you were around.
4?
I wish I remembered.
No, Rollo.
Even earlier, I guess.
I think you were earlier.
You were in at least episode 78.
Orange left around one of our anniversary episodes, right?
I think 78 was your first episode, Rollo. Because you're
78.
on the thumbnail.
Okay, that's the first time he's on the thumbnail. I might not have had his character yet, though.
Yeah.
So, but around then.
Okay. I guess I was around a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
The entire time I was like, I've only been here for like 100 episodes, I guess.
No. It's been longer than that.
We've all been here at least 200, and you've been here 300. You and Mailer have been here for 300.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Lico's been here for all of them.
Yeah.
My first episode was episode 104. I remember it was a Stormblood review episode. It was the fourth part of the Stormblood review.
Oh, you just came in the fourth part. What a strange time for us to just slot you in. Yeah.
I was there, and Rollo wasn't for my debut episode.
Oh yeah.
Am I moving?
Was that during your moving?
I was
your first moving arc?
Possibly
38. That makes sense.
That's the first one when I'm on the thumbnail.
Yeah, because you started coming in when Lonigan was like flickering in and out of the podcast, and we're like, we can't rely on him, so we need someone who can can join in, and we just we were just hanging out with Mela, so we were like, why not? We're hanging out on Saturdays anyway.
Very strange.
You just kidnapped him.
We kind of kidnapped Mela. Yeah.
Chat brings up an interesting point. I would be curious as to who's been in more episodes, me or Rollo, because of the amount of episodes Rollo misses because of moving.
True.
Oh, yeah.
There was a whole time when you were gone for like months in that first.
Someone has like the time to do that, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There were people that didn't know who you were when you came back. I remember that. People like, new speaker? I was like, no.
Listen, that was like the most stressful move ever. It was like nothing was planned, or every plan I did make didn't work out. It was just hated it. I'm free now though.
Yeah, it's good.
Maybe next year I'll move though.
No.
New arc.
Stay with the Minecraft fireplace house at least a bit longer.
Yes. Oh, God, does people even know what that means at this? Like, that's just for us, isn't it?
Listen, okay, I'll tell you guys real quick. For some reason, in my house that I'm renting right now, there is a fireplace that's 1, disconnected from the wall, right? 2, in the middle of the living room, right? There's like a good foot gap from the wall. And 3, it literally looks like they just stacked a ton of fucking Minecraft bricks to make a square fireplace. Like when I mean square, I mean it is a square.
I love it.
It's so jarring, so ugly. I think the person who was building this house or lived here or whatever, I don't know what they had going on. It's not even a place for a fridge in here, by the way. There's no space, no designated spot for a fridge.
No,
insane house.
It's weird. Also, something that there's a curse that we've started to break now, and that is the anniversary episode curse, which has always been that every time we reach a milestone on this channel, we're not the full cast.
That's true.
But today we are, and I think last time we were at 350. I think we were all here, and I think the last anniversary, like actual 9th anniversary. But before then, if you go to the other anniversary episodes, there's always a speaker missing. I think so. We've broken that curse.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, for now
We did it.
So yeah, I still wonder, because there's a lot of people that we never hear from that watch and listen to this show. And I'm always amazed because every now and then we get like a MogMail or a comment from someone who's like, oh yeah, I've been here since Orange. It's like,
yeah.
How are you still here? Like, how have we not pushed you away?
Same show.
Yeah.
Like it just
have
by
you
the
watched
nature.
the weekday streams?
Probably not. That's probably why they're still around.
Just like the nature of having different hosts just absolutely changes how the show goes. And
Yeah.
even ends up. For better or for worse, who knows?
Yeah. Everyone has. If you've been watching since like I can say with absolute certainty that there is no one left that watched during the Lukiel and Vero era, which was a very short era, 2 episodes. And I also doubt that there is anyone left who were here for the Lukiel, Lonigan, and Vero era. I cannot imagine. However, if you are out there and you are listening or watching and you never talk, just say something. I need to know if you exist.
You're a unicorn.
Yeah, you really are. Because I know that there are people out there that have watched since the era after with Orange, because that's a very iconic era. That was when, it started happening for the channel. But before then, I don't think... I remember... That's the craziest thing. I still remember those first people that watched. I remember their names. I'm not going to say them, but I remember their names in chat. And I haven't seen them.
they're the compilation videos.
Yes, they are, actually. Yeah, that's true.
They're immortalized.
Yeah. One of their names was Mela. Mela started watching because we told him, Mela wasn't like a
I was in the free company. Well, actually,
a natural watcher.
Point,
you weren't. No, you were not even in our free company at the time. We were just in Limsa. We were just hanging out in Limsa.
The rest of us had to apply. Unbelievable.
Except for...
No. Yaz didn't.
Yaz
didn't. And that was...
He just asked if he could be on.
That was...
You let him.
And that was perfect divine intervention almost, that the timing of that email happened just as we were talking behind the scenes, because Orange was like, I think I'm gonna leave. And we were like, okay, we're gonna start working on like we were like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Like I don't know. We hadn't the idea of recruiting people hadn't yet occurred to us because we were still too small. And then I was just browsing through, the spam that was on our email, because back then we got no interesting emails, and we still don't. And I just saw this one, just an email from Yaz. I was like, do you guys maybe want a new host? I can help. I'm like, oh my God. He provides. He provides. And did we even interview him? We did interview him. I do remember that. We did have we did.
He's not a
Did
freak.
you?
Yeah, we did, but it wasn't like we're interviewing you to see if you can join. It was we're interviewing you so you can join. That was it. It was just so we could get to know him. I remember that day. It was just like, hey, and then that's it. And then we joined. It wasn't an interview. It was just a chat. Yeah.
I remember you mentioning that you were quite terrified when you first put him on a podcast because he was technically unvetted.
Well, yes, he was. Because we didn't do an actual real interview. It was more like a chat. Didn't we play with him? Didn't we do something? We did something to vibe check.
Something with him, yeah.
But it went very well. So we were like, okay, it'll be fine. But then when we went live, I'm like, I don't know. We maybe should have, we maybe should have done some more research, but it was fine. So it was.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah,
it could have been. Things could have gone so wrong.
Oh yeah, it could have.
And forever.
But thank God, Yas was great. We love Yas. And then
the only thing wrong with him was that he's Canadian. That's crime enough.
No, that's the best. That's good.
That's no.
Oh yeah, you want America light? I got America's here.
Okay, dude. Was there any?
Canadians are so underrepresented.
Oh yeah, no, there was. So then there was. It was for 3 or 4 episodes. It was me, Mela, Orange, and Yaz. And then
that was wild.
Orange left, so it was just me, you, and I think it was me, you, and Yaz for a little bit, and then we got Rollo.
Then Rollo.
And then...
And he was the first real interviews. They were the best times.
And then Yaz left, and then Georgi.
Because I started watching during the Mela Yaz Keel era.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, during the Titanic fanfic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's when I was watching.
Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough days.
Yeah.
No, wait. I remember watching when Lonergan was on for a brief time.
That makes.
And he disappeared, and I didn't realize what was.
That truly was a brief time.
It was. Well, he came back intermittently. He came back for every second or third episode. He would blip in, and then eventually he would be gone.
I remember thinking to myself, "Where'd the other white guy go?"
Yeah.
I could have sworn there was more.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. It's been a while, but we're still here.
We are.
Yeah.
Against all odds.
Yeah. We were reading the Titanic fanfiction actually while Yas was still here. So that's how long it's been since we did that. It's a teaser, not for this post show, but we need to actually discuss that.
We do need to.
Behind the scenes, how we're going to deal with that. But okay. Anyways. Here we go, episode 400. Enough about us. Let's move into the actual show. It's time for recent events. Righto. Well, we'll start with some live letter details. We have details about the letter from the producer live, part 81. The live letter will take place on May 16th. That's on a Thursday.
Yes, so bizarre.
At 11 a.m. GMT, 12 a.m. Or noon BST, or 9 p.m. Australia Eastern Time. So 1 p.m. Central European Time.
Great time for me.
Very good time.
It's a nice time for
if you don't have
to be honest,
work.
It's a good time for... Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's a good time for everyone except America, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's too early. I have that day off, but
it's
on a Thursday. What the hell?
Yeah,
I might join in the middle of it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wake up early every Thursday to be here.
You're such a freak with your. You're.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't understand how you work.
I know we're done with talking about episode 400, but while we're on it, that was I remember Mela. Rollo was probably part of that as well, but I remember Mela specifically being very, he's not going to be here for long. But it's nice to just have someone to fill this slot, and we can look for someone else. Because there's no way he's going to stay here with that schedule.
I don't know how you've been making it work this long.
No.
Yesterday,
dedicated.
Yesterday I slept for like 11 hours, which I didn't like, actually, because it was longer than I expected.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay, anyways, the live letter, it will have live interpretation from Japanese to English. So that's nice.
That's quite rare and cool.
So
they do this for the pre-expansion one.
Yes, it is a sign that there's going to be a lot of important info coming.
Big news.
It's going to be, obviously, it says here that show details is patch 7.0 job information. So you know how big this live letter is going to be. Job actions trailer, and you're going to know. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to go extensively in detail about every single potency change.
I think the last job action, or the job live letter they had went for like 6 hours, if I remember correctly.
So nice. Buckle up, everyone.
Straight into stream time. Oh, no, it's Thursday, so it'll be raid night then.
No, I've already told Lakil this mailer that I will not be raiding that night.
No.
Yogi, hardcore.
It will be a very... I'll be very tired for Star Trek night, probably.
Let's see what happens.
But we'll,
you don't know how long. Maybe they've streamlined their process. Maybe they haven't.
Well, it takes. I
hope it's interesting, at least. I hope it's not like dry and just. This is.
They're going to go through.
They're going to ability.
They're going to go from job to job, and considering how many jobs we have, it's going to take a while.
It could be really good. It could get very dry very quickly.
Yeah.
What they need to do is update this, like, 2001.
The glossy
logo. Well, no, it's like the burnished metal with then like the weird like blue glow. Yeah. It's very old fashioned.
It has never been
Final Fantasy 11 kind of.
I think it was updated once because I think it originally had his like cutout, like his like chibi thing on it originally. But
well, it's like the play online thing for 11, right? Like
it does look like
kind of looks like
so
that. Yeah,
old fashioned.
Yeah. So there you go. We'll be covering that, of course. So if you want to hang out with us during that will be around that time. So we usually start before, so maybe half an hour before if you want to be sure you catch it in time. There you go. Moving on then. Something's happening at Square Enix, which is interesting. I think when you first read it, it seems scary. I saw this the first time on Twitter with just a picture of the president, and I thought, he's fucking up everything. No, I think this is good. They're taking $140 million hit as they in content abandonment losses as they now revise their game pipeline. This is one of his this feels like his the new president's like big new move, which he says they say in a warning to the investment community, the Japanese company said it would recognize the extraordinary loss for the fiscal year ended March 2024. This is the result of a change in approach to Square Enix's development of what it calls HD video games. So that's PC and console as opposed to mobile and MMO. In its note, the company said it wants to be quote, more selective and focused in the allocation of development resources. And as a result of the close examination of its development pipeline with this in mind, is taking the multi-million-dollar loss. Square Enix did not name the cancelled or rescoped in development titles, but I think... Okay, so here is the statement in full.
No,
I'll read
9 remake.
At the meeting convened on March 27, 2024, the board of directors of Square Enix Holdings Company Limited, the company, voted in light of the myriad changes underway in the environment surrounding its group to revise the group's approach to the development of high-definition HD games, with the intention of being more selective and focused in the allocation of development resources. As a result of a close examination of the group's development pipeline undertaken in keeping with this revised approach, the company expects to recognize approximately 22.1 billion yen in content abandonment losses on its books for the fiscal year ended March 2024. So
it's got to be like a tax write-off, right?
It would,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it would be. I don't think I need to Okay, Square Enix released a major title, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, in February, but has yet to announce a sales figure. Some analysts have suggested it has struggled, a topic IGN recently investigated. Other games released in the current financial year include Final Fantasy XVI, Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, and the Splatoon-style multiplayer game Foam Stars. Dawn Trail, the expansion for ongoing MMO Final Fantasy XIV, launches in the next financial year in late June. Square Enix also has Kingdom Hearts 4, the third game in the Final Fantasy Remake trilogy, and Dragon Quest 12 in the works.
So the trouble is, like, they've got such, like, Square Enix have always been very weird with money, and
yes.
If you look at some other game companies, for example, Rockstar,
Mm-hmm.
they release a new game every decade, it seems like.
Yeah.
And yes, they do kind of milk the online component to keep themselves afloat.
Mm-hmm.
But their games sell amazingly, and I'm sure they make great money overall.
Yeah.
But Square Enix has major titles: 16, 7 Remake, Kingdom Hearts 4, Dragon Quest 12.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they push all their money on things like Forspoken and Foam Stars.
Yeah. Well, that is for...
mobile games. What is Ever Crisis and all these weird pocket versions of all their games?
Well, it's not the mobile games that are losing the money.
I know, but it's
notice
ridiculous.
that they specifically said
MMOs
HD
and mobile
development.
games are not part of this.
No. But
specifically
it's
console and
just
PC games. Yes, Roll.
invest in.
I was going to say, because Nier Reincarnation, that like just closed like a couple days ago. That game was so high quality, and the actual game was like good or anything. It had very expensive assets made, dubbing, really like lots of models and art, and like big areas that are like console HD quality.
Yeah.
But for something that didn't make any money or was not that popular, I would say, again, if you like it or anything, I'm not saying people didn't like it, but I don't think people were like going crazy for Mama in the 14 collab,
No.
Or Symbiogenesis, if you remember that, the NFT project that they have, which is out, and it does something. I don't know if that's something is a game, but they post updates about it. So.
Yeah.
It's
But
I mean, they lose so much money, and like they could, like what they did with Ever Crisis, release it on Steam. Like, I think it's a paid for thing. Or is it free on Steam? What they need to do is basically make a post-closing paid version of all their mobile games, where it's like you can now play Mobius Final Fantasy without any microtransactions, and it's like £7.
Yeah,
and it'll give it like a second lease of life, because they're decent, and some of them are really. Record Keeper is a great game, and I would absolutely like play a new version of that. But
Mobius was, I sincerely, super underrated. Actually had a pretty decent story, and the gameplay was pretty fun.
Well, now we are talking about mobile games, which again is not affected by this. So I just want
you
to.
could repurpose that to
I
make
just
free
need to.
money.
We need to point something out, because there's a lot of people that are worried. You shouldn't be worried. We're specifically talking about the shitty console games that they've been working on that don't sell well.
It's not just about the. It
is a lot of that
part. Yeah. I won't say the shitty ones. It's the games like Harvestella and.
I mean, in terms of sales, not in quality. Sorry, in terms of sales.
Yeah. It's the games.
Missed opportunities.
They want to cut down on AA games because they're the ones that aren't making the money. I would argue that they're not making the money because they're cannibalizing their own sales by releasing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who am I to say?
Yeah.
Like that 3-year period where they were just releasing like weird shit.
Yeah.
Like. It reminded me of old like Enix and Square from back in like the PS1 era, where they just made a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Not all of it stuck to the wall, but like Valkyria Drive, I think that's really good. No one fucking played it because it just released like with a ton of other shit.
Yeah.
Harvestella is another one. Or Triangle Strategy too. Like
all those.
Yeah.
A ton of like
HD. What was it called? 2D HD.
2D HD, yeah.
2D HD. All those games are great, but they started pumping them out. So
Various Day Life,
No, Lukiel, I will not stand for that. Various Day Life is one of the greatest things they've released in.
Various Day Life is what Mela was talking about earlier. It's a repurposed game.
A what game?
Mobile game.
Mobile game.
Right.
The funny thing about Various Day Life is they've tacked it onto Triangle Strategy and Harvest Demo, I
want
think.
you
Just
to
as
buy
like a
it so
bundle.
bad. It's not a good game, sadly, but
No.
I appreciate that it exists. I don't. They did made like a lot of stuff that's just unique and not like hampered by like AAA development expectations. You know, so you can kind of do some weirder stuff.
Yeah.
There's just so much shit that they release at the same time, though.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, like the
God.
timing of video games.
Did you know they're releasing Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake?
No.
I heard about that.
That could be cool.
Less games like The Quiet Man, though. That's a good thing.
No, I want more Quiet Man. There has to be a big studio just making shit. Like, you know, like Balan Wonderland. Oh my god.
It could have been good, but it plays some shit.
I mean, you just want a big studio making garbage games.
Yeah.
Not all the time. I want one garbage game from Square Enix like every other year.
Okay.
You know?
Ooh, that's a lot of money to waste on garbage games every 2 years.
But that's why you got to keep them AA. So like, don't do the Avengers. You know, don't do that again. Make the Quiet Man.
Yeah, to be fair, I see what you mean.
Man.
Like, Harvestella probably didn't cost a lot, but Forspoken cost a lot.
That was an attempt at like a AAA game.
That was the biggest flop I've ever seen.
That's delisted now, I think. Or
Oh, is it really? I didn't know they'd gone that far.
Yeah, I think it's like
it should be
forbidden in 56 countries worldwide.
Yeah. It wasn't good. I'm sorry. We can say that now. It had some
was
good
awful.
points, but it was mostly pulled down by bad. The fact that it's being delisted should be a proof of that. Yeah.
I'm starting to see the contrarians for Forspoken. There are people that are at the point. I mean, just like any Final Fantasy game after it has been made redundant by the next title, there are people that start to defend it.
Yeah,
you can't. Please don't defend.
The game looks okay.
Cult followings come for all games. They form for every fucking game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Roland. What did you say?
I was saying. I mean, it looks all right. I don't think it's just not like what people want from Square Enix mostly.
No.
It's like the Avengers thing where like after the patches, Avengers is like it's all right if you're into that. But remember when we're watching like E3 or other streams or whatever, and they're like, okay, here's the Square Enix bit. The Square Enix section, like, yeah, Final Fantasy or whatever remakes, just Avengers. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
And they pay for like
it doesn't matter
% of the whole stream.
It doesn't matter for the quality. People don't want that from Square Enix.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should also add
Square Enix is like role-playing game. Japanese role-playing game specifically, but it's a specific genre of game that I've enjoyed since I was
You sort of
a child.
have an idea what you want from them. Yeah.
It can evolve, they can do lots of different stuff. They can remake their old game. It's all good, but it's not Marvel.
No, licensing other games is weird. I don't want that from Square Enix.
Yeah, like, could you imagine like Rockstar just all of a sudden pumping out a couple like, I don't know, roguelike card games?
Right? It would be insane.
Yeah.
Some companies just have an identity, and it's strange to stray from.
I also want to mention about when we talked about Forspoken. Forspoken is gone not just because the game's bad, but the fucking company was shut down. Like the development studio.
Remember the bins filled with unsold copies?
Yeah, God, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
I think this goes hand in hand with some of the recent developments about like shaking up management and who's heading projects. It was like a month ago now, I think, where they want younger people to head some of their bigger titles. So they're kind of pivoting like, okay, we're making big titles, but supposedly they want like a fresher, newer eyes or new takes on some of the classics, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Nintendo's been doing for most of the Switch generation. So, I mean, it's not a bad strategy.
No.
On a related, not related, but in continuous slightly dry news, I forgot to bring this up earlier. CBU3 is being renamed as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, they're just creative.
It's going from Creative Business Unit 3 to Creative Studio 3. And Yoshi P's title is also changing from General Manager of CBU3 to Studio Head of CS3.
That sounds cooler.
Wow, Photoshop CS3.
Yeah.
So,
not a good name.
Expect to see that?
No,
it's not. Creative Studio 3 is not an exciting name, but expect to see that in an upcoming trailer.
Yes.
When I see Creative Business Unit 3 for my game trailer, I don't get
It's like a
filled with
fucking
anticipation.
Vulcan made the
Did you do what? I think was it Platinum Studios? They had like the Little Angels or Little Devil dev team that made Bayonetta and shit. Like it was an internal studio for them. Like you gotta give them cool ass names like that.
Oh yeah.
I think having smaller little teams might be a good idea. I also agree with having younger people running production because, you know, every head in Japan is like a 65-year-old man. It needs to, there needs to be some
younger ones.
Yeah,
and he's in his like 50s. Look how good he is, though. To be fair,
and the new president of Square Enix is younger. He's in his 40s.
Yeah,
that's true. Little guitar boy.
It's a new age for Square Enix. It is exciting, even though his background is a little worrying. But he's at least doing. I think this is a good step.
Stuff.
Yeah, that needs
symbiogenesis.
To stop. But let's not forget.
A game.
Let's not forget that the old president also was obsessed with NFTs. So
he started it.
He started
it.
Gotta
continue.
Let's see where they go. But I think focusing on fewer, bigger, better games is a better move for them.
Yeah. Yes.
Make bad games because it's funny.
Yeah. Okay. That's on that note. We have to move on to the next story. The benchmark. There's an update.
Whoa.
An update to the update?
There's an update to the update. It's
about the update.
About the update. Follow up to what we talked about. It wasn't last week. It was the week before. A follow-up regarding the Dawn Trail official benchmark that's posted on the Lodestone by Naoki Yoshida. Hello, everyone. This is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. We recently announced an update for the Dawn Trail benchmark, and since then, we have identified the areas in need of adjustments, as well as the estimated workload and schedule, which I would like to share in this follow-up. After careful examination of the feedback from all regions, we are now working on improvements, adjustments, and bug fixes. We're making these refinements not only in preparation for Dawn Trail's release, but also to apply as many of the updates as possible to the benchmark. So there are three headlines here. Review and reconfiguration of character creation's environmental parameters, which rolls off the tongue. The character creation menu's various environmental parameters, such as lighting, positioning of light sources, weather, etc., will be reconfigured to match the upcoming first round of graphical updates. We completed the bulk of this on Saturday, the 27th of April, which several of our lead artists are currently reviewing and fine-tuning. Once they are finished, I will be conducting my final inspections after Friday, the 3rd of May. The various revisions of environmental parameters will be applied to not only the benchmark, but the game itself from Dawn Trail onwards as well. Like that is giving like dates.
They were working on a Saturday.
Yeah, they were. So that's good. That's something that should have the character creator. We talked about this. The character creator is shit. Like the lighting in that is bad. So I'm glad that they're working on that now. 2. Addressing feedback and issues related to certain data and processes. We compiled a list of feedback from all regions and categorized the points as bugs, data issues, or sections in need of further attention. We then decided a direction for each point, which our character artist and rendering programmers are now correcting and adjusting accordingly. Concurrently, several of our lead artists are reviewing and fine-tuning the finished data. The development team's tasks are scheduled to be completed on Wednesday, the 15th of May, and my final data review will take place on Thursday, the 16th of May, where I will be thoroughly communicating anything that catches my attention on the spot for immediate correction. Given the immense amount of data in need of review, the QA team's final inspection will require about another 5 business days after the development team has finished their part. So again, we got dates,
Dawn Trail delayed for benchmark updates, guys.
No, it's important to know that this is also being applied to the game. But yeah.
Yes.
By
that scheduling, you could. Oh, okay. No, they even say it in the next. I was going to extrapolate when the benchmark will be out, but no, they say that when you're about what you're about to say.
Yeah. Expected release timing for the updated Dawn Trail benchmark. The tasks outlined in points 1 and 2 are already underway, but because we are handling a significant amount of data to address as much of your feedback as possible, we will require some time before the updated benchmark is ready for release. This replacement of the benchmark is currently scheduled for May 23rd or later during that week, but we are not yet able to confirm a definite date. My apologies for this. Having said that, our players graciously provided a tremendous amount of feedback. Graciously. Graciously.
Very gracious.
Provided a tremendous amount of feedback with screenshots, which helped us quickly determine our direction for fixes and adjustments, as well as identify points to address. We hope to return this favor by addressing as many points as possible, and I would appreciate it if you could bear with us a while longer as we solidify a release date for the updated benchmark.
I don't think returning the favor of the community feedback is. I think this is a lot kinder than that. Returning the favor would be just removing the benchmark altogether or something.
Our reviews and finishing touches for the release version of Dawntrail are going smoothly, and while they are being carried out in tandem with the additional tasks for the graphical update mentioned above, rest assured that our development, operations, and QA teams and I are collectively giving our all. Ideally, I would have liked to share some screenshots of the review process, but as you can imagine, I was unfortunately short on time. I will be sure to report back once we confirm further details about our progress and release date for the updated benchmark. Naoki Yoshida. So there you go. Benchmark update is coming. It looks like maybe, based on this, late May.
Late May.
He says,
I mean, it's a weird thing to say. 23rd of May is
He says currently scheduled for May 23rd. But he says later during that week, but we are not yet able. What is the 23rd? What day is that?
It's a Thursday, which is quite late in the week.
Interesting. I expected that to be okay. 26th.
Either way,
at the latest,
he's given you about a month before Dawntrail still to play around with it, so you got plenty of time to check and see how your character looks now and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So
and then screen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, Roll?
We can do the re-review of the benchmark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's only scheduled for the day Dawntrail releases, but it might come out later.
Okay, so that at that point, that when that benchmark comes out, that's what your character is going to look like for real. Yeah. Okay. Moving on, we talked about something very interesting a couple of weeks ago about the new payment system. And what did we say specifically? We said it's going to be scary if you're using a credit card, but don't worry. Your safe harbor in this chaotic world is to always use a debit card. There is no going wrong. Uh-oh. Nope.
Oh,
there is a problem with Visa, you know. I hardly have, and most of you haven't heard of this. No one's heard of this brand before. Visa? Who uses Visa?
Indie company?
Yeah. Cart blew all the way.
Visa is like them in some insane, some remote village in some random country. We take Visa, don't worry.
Yeah. So listen up if you have a Visa debit card attached to your subscription right now. This is specifically for North America, I believe.
Apparently Japan was having similar issues, but they claim it's been resolved. This was not posted on the European Lodestone at all. So I do believe it's an issue that is currently only affecting North America.
The headline also specifies NA. And so I guess, So
that's
following...
weird, though, isn't it?
Yes.
It's also affected OCE as well? Okay. Sorry, don't look on that.
Okay.
That's a Lodestone? Or does it...
Yeah,
where does this...
You have your own Lodestone?
No, are they referring to the forums, maybe, when they say load?
Maybe the forums.
Okay.
You haven't heard that Yoshi P is doing a Filipino purge? He's like, no more Filipinos. All of you are banned.
I can tell you there's a lot of those because there's a lot of them that had to claim they were from not the Philippines when the game first came out.
This is turning out to be quite the problem. We're going to talk about the debit card stuff, but there's also I see someone mentioning MasterCard is also having problems. So essentially everyone is having problems. So you might want to check your subscription thing. I have a feeling mine's going to drop. Mine's being charged in.
I'm worried about that too.
So we'll see.
But thankfully, I was charged 3 weeks before this happened. So I've got months to worry about this.
That's nice. So also for those that like we said, if you had you have to use a valid address now, and if you're outside of the supported region, then you can't. So that's a problem.
But you can't change your address, can you? Ever?
Nope.
No.
Never change your address.
So if you move house or country, or if you unfortunately had to lie originally because they didn't support your country, you're fucked.
You can change. Yeah, you can change your address, not your country. And if your country,
people emigrate.
Yeah, not in
all
Japan.
the time.
Not in Japan. So that's not an option. So you can't change your country.
This has to be that. Honestly, that has to be amended.
Imagine being a person who moved from Japan, like America or something. Your sub must be so cheap. The yen is so bad right now.
Yen's
what are you paying? Like $2 for your sub?
Yeah. Okay.
But unfortunately, the new credit card you got when you moved to America is registered to America, so you can no longer play the game.
Yeah, true. Okay, so if you're from North America or have a North American service account, listen. This is for if you use a debit card. This is for you. Following the implementation of the new payment processor on April 23rd, 2024, we've been receiving reports from users that Visa debit card transactions were not functioning properly, which is super scary because remember what we said a couple of weeks ago. If you get a chargeback or any issue with when they charge you, your account is gone and they will not help you.
I believe most of the things has not been chargebacks and not the payment not going through, which is not as scary.
That's not as scary.
It's still scary.
Yeah. Thanks to the reports from users, we were able to confirm that Visa debit card transactions in North America are not being processed. We are working closely with our partners to address the issue and will share an update as soon as we have more information. While the issue is being addressed, the affected users can utilize other payment options such as Amazon Pay, PayPal to purchase Krista, or game time codes. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. Yeah. This
is another person. Whoever wrote this Lodestone post that Amazon Pay first. Of course, they can't say Visa card this time.
No.
Because it's not relevant. But it's so weird to me it's happened twice in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Amazon Pay is the global leader in payment options.
Just use Amazon. I don't.
Well, I don't even know what it is, to be perfectly honest with you. I've never really
I think they mentioned Amazon Pay first here because that's a way to directly pay for your sub, while PayPal can only be used to purchase Krista. You can't have a running sub on PayPal, I think. So that's why.
It's just alphabetical.
I also love that they have the alternative or game time codes. I mean, you could just do that as well.
Do they still make them?
We've talked, Mela. I know you're getting older.
I asked it last week.
Yeah, you asked last week, and the answer is still
yes. Get a sub card.
What was it? Oh, it was digital. Thank you.
Yeah. So there you go. Sort out your subscription payment options. Switch if you must to
PayPal
Amazon Pay.
PayPal to Krista is the best option.
How do you do that monthly? Do you have to do that monthly?
You have to top up. You'll have to top up. Well, I also recommend pay. I mean, you can pay to pay but I would recommend going for the highest number of months possible, just so you don't have to worry about this headache.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like 6 monthly or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I know they've posted this and they are offering alternatives for renewing your sub, but I really think they should consider, at least in NA, putting a stop on housing demolition for maybe a month until this is sorted.
Yeah.
It's a little unfair.
Weird. They've made some big changes and it went very wrong. So, sorry. So we can say.
It's probably the payment processing, like the company's fault or something.
Yeah, it probably is.
Well,
I mean, for sure. The Square Enix wouldn't. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Surprise. European data center expansion. I actually had this header loaded always in my slides file so that I could turn it on. I was like, just a few months ago, I'm like, it's probably time to just delete this. I'll never use this again. But here we are. We talked about it just a few weeks ago. I've been like, was it during the I don't remember why, but there was something that was linked back to this announcement for the original announcement for the data center expansion. It's been a year since we last heard about this, really. So very interesting. Seemingly out of nowhere, this announcement came. Addition of new European logical data center and worlds. Not only is it announcing that it's happening, it gave us the names of the data center and the worlds.
Black and white moment, if we got anything right.
I don't think we did. Oh, no. Did we not say shadow? Because light and shadow makes sense.
Black and white moment.
I'm not going back. I'm not bothering.
No, listen.
It's a year ago.
We need more black and white moments here, so we get.
We do. Put the work in, Lucia. You never put any work into this show anymore.
No.
Most black and white moments don't have that much time delay on them.
Yeah.
Chat, if you find it, link it to Lukiel and then.
Yeah, someone do it for me. In preparation for Dawn Trail's release, a new logical data center, Shadow, will be added to the European data center. We will be monitoring the number of concurrent logins to determine the opening date of Shadow data center worlds, which will be announced at a later time. Shadow is the new data center, and it comes with 3 new worlds: Innocence, Pixie, and Titania.
I don't know. Like, I have to be honest with you. New players go to Shadow, because it sounds cool. But then, I don't know. The options aren't that cool.
Innocence is pretty good.
Innocence is kind of cool, contextually, but it's a weird name for a server.
I wonder if Pixie
if you don't play the game.
Do you think Pixie might become like the fairy of the European data center?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, it's pretty.
Do you guys need these servers?
No.
Like, it's without cross-world link shell, it doesn't matter because everyone's gonna go to Ragnarok.
Well, people don't go to Ragnarok. Actually, most people go to Light.
Light's the
cool one
now.
Yeah.
But also, the main reason they're doing this when they're doing it is to alleviate server congestion on launch.
Yes,
which
it is.
You might argue that this is a extreme solution, but like they were going to do it anyway. So
yeah. So following the maintenance on Tuesday, the 7th of May, the Shadow data center will be added to the data center selection menu, but will remain inaccessible until the actual launch of the data center. Attempting to connect to the Shadow data center prior to its launch will result in an error.
Will result in your arrest.
Yeah, so this is definitely, they're preparing, because Europe during launch of expansions is pretty rough, but I don't know.
It's pretty hit or miss. It depends. People might hop over.
I just don't know if it's gonna be. I mean, I don't know. It's always there's always
I'm
queues.
pretty confident that this will be very much the goblin of Europe.
For
just
sure.
For the dregs of society.
Yeah.
New players will come here and they'll get to enjoy it and get a house. But
it also is,
I am a bit worried that this will be quite an empty data center.
How many worlds per data center in Europe right now? Because the world count is what really worries me.
We have like 6 or something, don't we?
Yeah, so we have twice the number. So it's going to be a very small data center. In general, just in terms of worlds, like
it's a tiny data center. It's probably the smallest one there is.
I mean, they do that to because they know it's not going to get flooded with people probably, so they have to keep the world number small to ensure that there's enough people on the servers. But I don't know. It's weird, random.
One of the benefits of it being a logical data center on the European data center client is that you do still have world travel. The main issue with the OCE server is the fact that they can't data center travel anywhere else.
Yeah,
right. True.
They're locked in.
True.
But as we saw from the test of DC travel, it can work.
Listen, just open up the cross region already, man. Come on. Just what?
I enjoyed it.
What's taking so long, dude? Come on.
I think they need to work more on their server structure a little bit. There's, I don't know.
I think a rejig of the servers, like Chat has said, would be beneficial to their aim here. It's no one is going to move from chaos or light to this, more or less.
No, I would be surprised. Yeah, if someone did.
It doesn't really solve it, but if you moved some servers around, maybe put Ragnarok with in the same DC as the good light servers, like Omega. And then we have all the people on chaos.
You guys were saying there's only 6 worlds on European data centers.
I just accepted it.
Oh, that was close.
How many?
8.
You've already moved to 8 on each of them.
Oh, right. That was part of that the previous update.
Yeah.
I just wanted to check that because I was like, I don't know if that's correct.
So even worse.
I double checked.
Even worse for Shadow then. They're so insignificant that it's almost a joke.
3 is such a strange number, I have to say, because even Dynamis launched with 4.
Yeah. It all just feels very random. But hey,
it's weird.
We'll see what happens, I guess.
I don't know what their aim is, but at least they've made good on their promise, technically.
Yeah. So again, we say that it'll be there for launch, but we don't know when it will launch. We are speculating that based on some of the stuff, but it says we will be monitoring the number of concurrent logins to determine the opening date of Shadow Data Center Worlds, which will be announced at a later date. So it's just speculation that it'll be there for Dawn Trail launch. It might not be. It might be added later.
What if the Dawn Trail launch is just beautiful and successful?
And then we'll not hear about this again for another year.
Will they just never open it?
Yeah. I'll keep this in my slides file though, just in case we get to talk about it again in the future. Okay, well there you go. That's
add some skeletons to the picture.
Yeah, every time we bring it up, more skeletons. Okay, cobwebs.
Yeah,
like it slightly starts to fade. Like it starts to like
scratches, some moss.
Yeah,
that's falling out the frame.
Yeah,
nature's reclaiming.
Okay, that is it for recent events. Now, I think we need to pick a MogMail to read today because we will only we can read a couple, but we have so many.
Yeah. We do have a lot.
There is one that number 3 specifically mentions the episode number, but doesn't talk about it. We're doing this on the air. We're doing this right now.
I mean, number 1 is our favorite name of all time.
It is true. Should we just do number 1? Because
okay.
How?
Sure. Let's do number 1. Okay, here we go. It's time for MogMail, and here we go. Yes, this is from Marilyn Monrogaden.
Yay!
Dearest speakers, now in the ramp-up for the next expansion, I hear my friends asking, what's next for Final Fantasy XIV? How can we top going to the moon, the void, and the edge of creation all in one expansion? But I find myself kind of let down from a lore enthusiast's perspective. All of the monsters I wondered about, speculating on their evolution and environment. Literally some old bureaucrat's science project. While the Allagan experiments on the Ixal were interesting, it doesn't hit the same when you attribute all of creation to an even more ancient race of ancients. The ancients themselves? Just some dudes with magic, somehow managing to be more mundane than the Allagans, Gelmorans, or any other collapsed civilizations that I now hope don't get fleshed out in the same way. My patron deity replaced herself with a prayer machine and then killed herself in Minecraft, without even doing the courtesy of telling me why she isn't a mermaid like the statue in Aleport. Endwalker has answered my questions, and I am depressed. But at least I'm not bald. Thank you, Marilyn.
I completely agree with all that sentiment.
This feels like it was written by Mela, I will say.
Yeah, this is so real.
I'm sorry, you have such Mela hater energy. You can feel it.
Hey, let's link up.
Okay, there is some truth to this that I agree with. Like truth, some points to this that I agree with. The Shadowbringers and Endwalker has the vision was to like demystify the world and make everything more easily explainable without, I feel like that happened. Like the 12, they killed them. They're like, hey, we look like this, goodbye. We put a little glowy bit in the sanctum so you can still pray or whatever, but we're not listening actually. And that's sad. Essentially every civilization, Hydaelyn is a copy. Like our planet is a copy of something that existed before. So everything that is being researched on our planet now all links back to the ancients. Everything will always now link back to the ancients in every way. Every creature, every person, every history, every link. Everything goes back to the ancients. Now, some might like that. I think that's fair. But I also think it's fair that you don't like that. Because I think, in my opinion, and I think in Mela's opinion as well, it removes... I don't know. I like it when there's still some mystery that can be explained in other ways and not just go, ancients. they made a thing in the original world, and now it looks like this.
We saw behind the curtain, and we saw too much. Also, like, it takes a little bit away from just the world that we inhabit in the game, because it doesn't necessarily, it feels less like a world and more like a science experiment, or like we're just watching something that it takes away a lot of it. Because like instead of where did these crazy creatures come from, and it turns out that these are actually an evolved version of this, and blah blah. It's just every animal was just made by some copy and pasted people in hoods.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Georgi, thankfully, is arguing with me, but he's muted, so he's been censored.
Oh, has he been muted this whole... Yeah, I was wondering...
Oh, sorry. Okay, no. What I said was they didn't make Voidsent.
Yeah.
That's true.
There's no basis.
Voidsent are interesting, but they are also just more or less just people from that world.
Nor did they make Sin Eaters. There are things that come about not as a result of actual ancient...
Yeah, there are things
that's true.
There's it reminds me of a lot of kind of Elder Scrolls issues, where it's like there's just so many games and they got to answer something, like they got to keep building on some kind of like backstory narrative. So you get all this stuff with Daedra now and the recent games, and like all that stuff gets like really, really explained. But I think just like 14, they do still hold like little nuggets, in their back pocket. Like with the Dwemer thing, still don't know what happened to them, right?
That's true.
That's still like a really cool mystery. We got things here. What the fuck is a Garlean? Why is he like that? Why'd he come out like that?
But do you not worry though that the link is just going to be ancients?
It could.
Well, no, I would suspect the link to Garleans would have been Allegan.
Yeah, but Allegan's link to the ancients.
Allegan is ancient.
It's an ancient construct from Emmet Selk. So it's all linking to the ancients in some way in that case.
That doesn't bother me. And also, Chad is correct. There are some things that existed from the ancient time that they didn't make, like the Opus flower.
That's true.
Came into life.
There are. I mean, we're not saying nothing. We're saying that most things now in our existing world that is currently in the not stuff that spontaneously appears like Sin Eaters and the end of days or whatever. Our world can be explained by just saying the ancients. That I think
also the fact that we worked backwards in game kind of takes away a little bit. Like the fact that they tried to make an ancient version of most creatures on Eorzea. We don't like all the animals on Eorzea don't have to come from
I have to specify though. I don't mind it in most cases because it is sort of like a creation myth. Like we know it happened, right? It's not even a myth. We know how we came to be. Right? That's important. But it does, to me, lessens the impact of like discovering things and be like, oh, that's cool. And then it inevitably is like, but the ancients made something.
Doesn't bother me.
That's fair. Some people are not bothered by it, and that's fine.
If it was like a very apparent issue where like every single time anything happens, it's like, it's ancient. But that hasn't really been the case. And there's still a lot of stuff to build up on. And there's still like, I don't know, there's still weird shit going on that they can kind of explain. Like the Ethereal Sea itself, I still think is a very kind of weird spot. I know it's just a connection to the life stream, sort of, or the closest point. But it's still like, that's a unique thing going on in the world there,
Yeah. I mean,
and as far as we know, the Underworld / Ethereal Sea is seemingly exclusive to our planet because even things like Zero's like soul returned to the 13th Shard rather when it was at the end of the universe.
Yeah.
The live stream's interesting.
That's true.
Things like that can things where it could be a creation like thing that is beyond even the sphere of influence of the ancients. Things like that.
That's what makes me more positive about the future because there are things that are already proven to be exclusive to Hydaelyn, like our planet, which the ancients did not make, and that has become as a product of the shard, or sorry, the reflection. Isn't that what we are?
Yeah.
Being formed.
Yeah. this doesn't bother me in the same way that like knowing the Big Bang was the cause of everything in the universe doesn't bother me either. It just because it started there doesn't mean that like there aren't steps between there and now.
The Big Bang is still mysterious. Like what started the Big Bang?
Proven.
You know what?
Well, it's still a theory.
Well, yeah, it's a theory. Yes,
it's also a theory.
Whereas this is like in concrete.
I mean, you don't know how the ancients get there.
Well, yeah, right.
That's
we
true.
never really.
That's something that's interesting.
We've had many questions about the ancients, about religion, other
if
cultures.
You don't like the ancients so much, you should really be hoping that Lotianus 9 theory is correct.
Lotianus 9 is.
I agree. 9. Also, don't put that on me. I didn't say I didn't like the ancients. I said that it lessens.
Sorry, I apologize. That was more so
to Mela. He said to Mela. He said. For those that didn't hear that, yeah.
I'm not like super like against everything with the ancients, but it's just when like every single mystery ended up going back to them, like time after time, it got more and more old throughout time. Like the Ascians were so mysterious, and then it turned out every plot was made by the Ascians, and then it turned out that the Ascians were ancients. Turned out that all of the cool things that were built were by the ancients.
I do agree with you, but a little bit. But how would that ever be resolved in any good way? Because eventually you would have to know what the Ascians are. It had to be revealed at some point, and this was the reveal.
For the Ascians, true.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't have to have their finger in every part.
This is the Heidelin and Zodiac storyline. Yeah. So, like, of course, everything is going to eventually coalesce together into one story. We're not part of that anymore. It might not necessarily go in that direction as much.
I will say that true. There is something that was also a problem even before the ancients. Before the ancients, it was the Allegans. We would just go Allegans, and whenever there was a mystery, Allegans. And now we learned that the Allegans are actually an ancient construct, so it goes back to ancients. It hasn't really changed. It's just the people have changed. It's gone further back in the time.
It depends where it all comes from and where we go from.
See,
now
the more I talk about it, the more okay I am with it. See, all you need is to talk about it, and then it makes more sense.
Yourself to them.
Yeah,
I'm also curious as to how other religions develop, like that seemingly have similar origins. Like, but Azema, as we know her, is not Azim. Yet they seem similar.
Yes.
Like, why do both of those things exist?
Yeah.
I like things like that.
Yeah.
And they don't have to explain it. It can remain a mystery. But it's something you can speculate about.
Yeah. Even just connecting like the missing spots is interesting. Like corruptions of concepts, from the ancient world. Like the missing links, it's always a cool thing to look into because it's I don't know, there's so many degrees, and they have enough breathing room. I do agree that like in a lot of stories when you kind of know like everything gets explained, like your imagination is always going to be better than whatever it is,
Yeah.
Whatever you thought it was will always be infinitely better than whatever ends up being.
Yeah.
But I think they still have a lot of breathing room to do lots of work here. They haven't like
we don't know everything about everything. That's true. I agree.
Yeah, and Rollo, I like what Rollo said there about it's not all about the origin point anyway. Not everything
was a long one. You have to start over with that.
Restart.
I liked what Rollo said in that like it's not all about the origin point. Like it's sometimes like not everything that happened in the ancient time has gotten to now unchanged.
Right. Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think like it's fine and it's it is what it is and this is what happened. I think leaving in some holes here and there though works in the fate. Like having everything over explained can be a detriment because then it's like, oh yeah, that is what happened. But having points of speculation is very fun because then we can think about why it is.
Yeah.
I think that might also be an issue with just who we associate with. We are part of essentially a group of scientists, so of course they're always going to be seeking the reason for things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that also ties into another, like, whether or not you love or don't like the ancients and the way that everything's sort of pushed in their way. I think another big issue is the fact that we have, like, the things we've done, like how they say at the start, we've gone to the moon, the void, the education. We've killed, Zodiac. We've killed the personification of existential dread. Like, we've done so much insane stuff.
Yeah.
No matter how much I want to reset and be an adventurer, no matter how much I want this to be like that little vacation thing, if they do it too hard on the you are now just an adventurer exploring, a lot of people will think, well, this isn't very interesting. You've really taken it back too far here.
Yeah.
But they also can't top it forever because when do we start?
There has to be a reset.
They've put themselves in a really tough spot.
But we are 10 years into the game, so it makes sense.
I think they're just avoiding that by not doing that at all. An infinite escalation is not something you can do in any story, especially if story of this length. Just going the complete opposite and saying, like, at least for this expansion, this is a break. This is an adventure, or whatever. It's not a depower moment exactly. It's at least it's kind of being billed as like a smaller, contained story in Terrell, right?
Yeah.
And I think just saying that is good. There can be stakes there. It's entire new continent and everything. There's you don't have to keep being, all right, we fought God, now we got to fight Super God. After that, we got to fight Cthulhu.
It's tough though.
Yeah.
Doing that like that, you don't got to keep doing that.
You don't have to, but there's a risk of dropping from being God Slayer to Errand Boy can also feel not like it has to work well. It's a tough balancing act.
Yeah.
I think they can do it. They did it with Shadowbringers essentially.
I think they can do it as well. I'm not super worried about it, but I just, I'm eager to experience it. Just to know.
In a slightly related way, it makes me think of how they dealt with legendary Pokemon for a while. Like, we got the god of all Pokemon in Generation 4. Nothing can top that.
Right.
But we've still got legendary Pokemon since then, and they're not more powerful than that. But they're still interesting.
That's true.
It doesn't have to top what they've done before. It just has to be like exciting.
Yeah.
Instead of being like a powerful villain, they just need to be like a more interesting villain, in a different way, interesting villain. And that I suppose that can be fine.
Yes.
You're gonna fight an evil mayor next. That's the next villain.
Yeah.
A mayor in the city who's kind of bad.
I feel like we've gone a little off the topic of the MogMail, but so I will say there are still mysteries. Chat brought it up. The 12's Wood,
elementals.
The elementals is still a bit of a mystery.
The live stream,
which I am kind of. I'm in retrospect. Yeah, live stream Assam. But the elementals specifically, I'm kind of glad they're not touching because that's like just a thing. It's just a thing that's.
They just fucking suck.
I just want to kill them.
Yeah,
Destroy them.
I don't care.
But don't kill one of the last like really big mysteries that we have. Just have them.
I don't like them because their morality is incomprehensible.
Like there's the mystery of Amber Scale Rock, not really answered. It's just like there.
It's like such a 1.0 boom.
Well, it is. No, it is. It is.
The Rock.
It's in. It's in which
the
job
Boy and
quest?
the Dragon Gay.
No, it's mentioned the Boy and the Dragon Gay, but I think a job quest or a side quest brings you up there for a brief moment as well.
There's still stuff for them to do there. Really, I don't know. They have the space, and there's different routes they can definitely go. I'd say give them a chance. This is the first expansion.
Of course, yeah.
After the big 10.
This is every time.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. This should calm your nerves. There's still lots of mysteries out there.
There's some cool stuff.
If you ignore the fact, because saying like, oh, it was ancients. Yeah, I agree. It's stupid. But that's also like going and looking at a rock and go, oh, what's this mysterious rock? Big Bang.
Yeah. It's very
You can't just keep going saying evolution. Like be like, okay, look at this
also,
scary caterpillar. Evolution. Like, okay, yeah, but...
And also, even with the ancients, it's not just like, just because they did it. There's normally motivation behind it.
Yeah.
They're technically people.
Yes, true. Okay, and we could argue that, they mentioned specifically the 12. I kind of agree that the way that ended wasn't great, but whatever. It's over. So we just got to deal with that. That was a loss for me. But
it might just because we were solving so much in one fell swoop at the end there that it, it felt a little bit like we've done everything now.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. Let's
do one more.
Let's do one. Yeah, let's do one more. Let's live a little.
Let's treat ourselves.
I'll just go for the second one. We'll just do them in order. This is from Karina Tristan from Adamantois. Hello, speakers. Long-time listener, second-time MogMailer. Having gone back and played through other Final Fantasy games recently, it's been super fun to go through and see what references and characters 14 has to previous games, especially because 14 was my first Final Fantasy game, so I'm almost seeing references in reverse to what everyone else did. Like, oh, that's the Emerald Weapon from the Whirlet questline in Final Fantasy VII. Cool.
That's insane.
Which is an anecdote which vaguely and roundaboutly brings me to my question. Which Final Fantasy characters do you most want to see brought in some form to 14? Obviously, you don't want to just rinse and repeat characters with the same backstory character development, but perhaps a reimagining of the character, kind of like Jessie. For me, I just want Quina from Final Fantasy IX in some way to be in the game. He's the comic relief we need in these trying times. Thanks for reading. Quina is great.
I think Quina has a high chance of appearing in a future Blue Mage storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Because Blue Mage storyline tends to bring in very straight, direct references from previous games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds like a joke answer, but I genuinely think it'd be very funny as a fish out of water story. I want Jack Garland from Stranger
Oh
Paradise.
my god.
I
No.
love it. I think you can make it
I
work.
agree.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Just not an interpretation or like just Jack Garland.
Yeah.
I
him.
honestly think within the plot of Stranger of Paradise, you could just bring Jack Garland in.
Yes, you
Yeah.
could.
So we go there. You stole us with us. Estinian.
No, he comes here.
He comes
And then
here.
Jack. No, yeah. We're in Tyrol. You stole Estinians with us. This crazy guy walks up to us. Where's Chaos? And then Yestola starts trying to answer and he goes, that's bullshit. Pops on Linkin Park
Yeah.
and just walks away.
Yeah.
That would be
do it. You could make it work.
insane.
That would be
And
You
great.
could make it work, but it would be
And he'll have the fuck my shit up hairstyle.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I hate that fucking hairstyle. Oh,
Monkey's poor Rollo, he becomes a permanent scion.
I love it. That's not a monkey's paw. That's just a genie's wish for real.
I want Norg from Final
Oh, yeah,
Fantasy VIII
Norg's
with
a
his
good choice.
giant
That's a good
like
choice.
shin bag and his gigantic fingies.
Would you
They
want
were
the
discussed.
species as a whole?
Yeah, the
Shumi
the
were the
Shumi?
species.
Yeah, Shumi.
Yeah,
Shumi.
because they could become like a
They could be
Like a tribe?
they could become a tribe. Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Or what's the thing that they eventually evolve into?
Moomba? Oh no,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the Moomba. Fucking weird world.
Which is
dude.
insane because they don't look at all like them, really.
No.
Like,
no.
Moombas are like if a furry artist drew Red 13.
Yeah.
But Shumis
Okay.
are just like slug monsters.
What happens to Moombas? The existence of Moombas is almost like how beavers exist in our universe.
It even says here on the wiki, Moombas are a possible final stage in the evolving life cycle of a Shumi in Final Fantasy VIII. So,
Yeah, they can become anything.
yeah, they
That's what
are.
I'm
They live
saying.
sad
They're-
lives.
They're
though.
they're like the beavers of our universe. They come into existence in mysterious ways.
That's
But
true.
isn't it funny because the Shumi, when you visit like the Shumi village, oh sorry, 8 talk, but when you visit the Shumi village in Final Fantasy VIII, they're like very like, I wouldn't say wise, but they're very gentle creatures,
Yeah.
right? They talk, they like art and they talk, and then they turn into fucking
Scholars.
they turn into like I mean, if you don't know what a Moomba is, they turn into this. Oh fuck, Grandpa's on the
Yeah.
on the
Fucking
laptop again.
Digimon.
Yeah, they turn into it.
Yeah, they
Oh,
do
I
turn
should
into-
probably
it
show
looks
what.
like a
It is
Digimon.
Let me show
yeah.
you what Norg looks like. He is an elder. He's something unique actually, because he's an elder Shumi, which doesn't really happen.
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
start
look
like
at that.
this with like a testicle chin, and then they turn
long
into
salad
this.
fingers.
And then they go from like being somewhat, I think they're a bit secluded in the village, but like they are somewhat respected. And when they turn into Moombas, they become slaves.
Hey, that's just their society, man. You can't comprehend it.
Yeah, they are. It says
No,
they are
I can't.
generally used as slaves or laborers, and as such are treated poorly by their human masters. So,
Not
however,
Shumi
in the
slaves.
Shumi village, the Shumi hold Moombas as an ideal.
Oh, I see.
The
so
world
if
of
they stayed in the
8
Shumi
is
village,
dark.
they'd be fine.
Yeah, but there I don't think there were Moombas in the Shumi village at all, because they're all getting
So they
picked up
leave
by
them-
the humans to.
God, it's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
I'd want to be.
I'd also
Shumi forever.
obviously, because I'm an 8 fanboy, I'd want Squall. You know, just give me Squall.
You just missed Squall.
Yeah, just give me Squall. Yeah.
What do you want, Mailer?
I think anyone from. I think I'd rather Laguna.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe Irvine as like a machinist questline guy or something.
I think
that would be cool.
I think Laguna and Irvine are actually much more likely to be inspirations for characters.
Yeah.
They go for main characters.
That's
As a
true.
sort of non-character but trope, I really want to see gardens.
Oh,
Just
that's like a concept in 14.
yeah, just flying cities. Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
Solution 9 is like the club. So
Yeah,
let's just have flying cities and shit.
I'd love that.
What were you going to
aesthetic.
say? Sorry,
Yes,
Rollo?
Rollo, go on.
Okay, I just feel like in general, FF10 doesn't get a lot in 14. I think
Excuse me, Varys turned into one of the most important summons in 10.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I mean, character-wise,
Right.
I know.
No, actually, now I think about it, the paladin animation for males is like the same as.
And animation's not the whole cat though.
Yeah, that was just something I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I want a turbo racist. I want Waka.
Waka.
Yeah, Waka.
Please,
I was going to...
please.
There are
I
so
want
many
New World,
better characters to
and
pick.
I
knew
want.
you'd bring up Waka, and I actually think Waka could exist in either the New World or in...
Yeah, Waka could.
Yeah.
I want him to be in the New World. He's like, fucking Eorzeans.
Yeah.
Coming over here.
Yeah, that would be funny.
I'm begging you.
Oh,
Waka could work.
Waka could work. Yeah, and since we have the 10 flavor already in Dawn Trail, so you know it's not impossible. And with Waka comes Lulu.
Oh.
She comes with the belts too. A lot, enough for everyone.
No, I feel like they'd give her an
doesn't-
updated outfit.
Yeah, Lulu aesthetically would just be a bit wild in 14 as well.
Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah.
I think you could do Oron too. Honestly, I think
I love
Oh,
Oron.
I
Oron's
think
cool.
Oron could very easily be in this game.
Yeah.
Wandering
Not Titus,
warrior
no.
monk.
Oh, fuck him. He's also a main character, so.
What if he's in Solution 9?
Please, no.
What's related
Who?
to
Oron or
Titus.
Titus? Yeah.
Hmm.
Sorry, we're saying it
Solution
wrong. It's
9 is a-
Titus.
But I refuse to say it how he says it.
Solution 9 is a dream. It's not real.
Oh, shit.
Solution 9 is the portal to the
Samarkand?
100-acre woods from Kingdom Hearts.
No.
Sora
fuck it.
comes along.
Get Sora in this game somehow. Just do it.
Mhm.
Oh, with Winnie the Pooh. I'd do anything for a Winnie the Pooh crossover. Imagine that, Lukiel.
That is thankfully absolutely never going to happen, but I would stop playing.
Imagine that.
Since this expansion is referencing 9, but I don't think this will happen because I feel like we would have seen them. I would like Freya and Freya's race to appear at some point.
Oh, I really like them.
Oh yeah, they're like
I can't
weird,
remember
like
what the race is called.
rat-looking race.
Mela,
Right.
what if they just add Penelo? And
You would
we just
never.
talked to
That'll
this
be in
one
the
random
FC
NPC.
house. The FC house.
Mela would never be able to finish the side quest because he'd just keep forgetting who the NPC is.
Yeah.
Um,
The whole race was just Burmesian. FF9 had the greatest, most joyful races.
We
The
stan
most lovely
FF9
world. It, like
on
the
this
fairy tale
channel.
vibes of 9 are so good.
Yes.
I love the aesthetics. They
True
got it.
creative freedom, and I
mean,
loved all of them.
it gave us Vivi, the most what an
I
iconic
love
character.
Vivi more than anything in the world.
Mm-hmm. Also gave us Queen Braun, which was she's difficult to.
She's hard to please.
Yeah, she's hard to look at as well. She's
Whoa,
difficult.
She's cute.
I don't know. I don't think cute applies to her. Okay, well, there you go. Thank you, Karina Tristan. Thank you to people listening in MogMail. We'll try to get more. So the live letter is 2 weeks.
No, it's the week after. So
Okay, so maybe we'll get some MogMail done next week again.
It would be horrible if it was next week because it would go directly from the live letter
Yeah, it's a semi-finals.
Into Eurovision. Yeah, you're right. God. Okay, well, I think that's where we'll wrap up for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Remember then, again, I'll repeat that for Supreme and Master Speakers, starting on Tuesday, we will be covering Eurovision. That's it's at Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 8 p.m. Central European Time. That's 7 p.m. BST. And whatever that converts to in other times, that's when the wait screen goes up, I'll say. But we'll talk about, it'll be an hour before the show starts. We'll talk about the entries for that and whatever else, any news that has come out prior to the contest. Okay, we'll see you then. If not, we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Remember to follow us on Twitter at SpeakersXIV, twitch.tv/speakers XIV, youtube.com/speakers_XIV, Discord, Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server, and if you're watching on the map.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Excuse me?
The podcast is moved next week.
Oh shit! That is a super important detail to note. Fuck. I should have put that in the beginning of the show.
Just known. Come on.
Yeah, starting, okay, so not starting. Next week, the show will be live on Sunday. Not Saturday, because we'll be covering Eurovision. That's the 12th. So keep that in mind, okay? We'll see you on Sunday. So we will not be here on the same time, same place. We'll be here on a different time, but the same place. Okay, on Sunday. All right, thanks for watching. See you. Send us MogMail, speakersxiv.com/MogMail. And if you're watching live, we'll be right back in the post-show. Goodbye!
Bye.